Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, today we look at the topic of insertion in an array. You must remember array is the collection of linear data structure whose index is going to start from the, yes, you have guessed it right, whose index is going to start from the index number 0. In case of arrays, the data type of the array is going to be same. If I say integer array, it is going to be only elements having integer data type. Now we will understand what do you mean by insertion in an array. Suppose we have an array. I want to insert a particular element into the array. So what can be the position of the element to be inserted in the array? It can be beginning, end of the array, or it can be any in between position from starting to end. In other words, I need to have the position where I want to insert that particular array. Now we will go for the coding of the insertion of the array. Let us begin with the topic. I've defined a class named as insert array. Inside the main method of the class, I've defined three variables: n, pos, that is position, and x. Then I've taken the scanner class object s. So I write down scanner s equal to new scanner system dot in. Then we will ask the user to enter the elements into the array, that is number of elements into the array. We write down system.out.println, enter number of elements you want in the array, and we are going to store into the variable called as n. Hence we write down n equal to s dot next int. S is the object of the scanner class. Then we ask the user to enter the array elements. We write down int a equal to new int n plus 1. Why we need to have the n plus 1? Because we need to have the array which is going to store the elements. Then we will ask the user to enter the all elements. We write down system.out.println, enter all the elements. We will take this element value into the array using the concept of for loop. We write down for int I equal to 0, I less than n. N is the number of elements you want in the array, that the user want in the array. Then we'll take the elements. We write down a of I equal to s dot next int. So whenever the user is entering the element, that will be transferred into the array a of I with the index I equal to 0 and going up till the n. Then we have taken with the number of elements, and also we have taken the elements into the array. Now comes the part of the insertion of the element into the array. For this we need to answer the question where the position the user wants to enter the element into the array. So we write down system.out.print, enter the position where you want to insert the element. So we need to take the element position from the user. The position number will depend upon the user choice. It cannot be less than 0 and it cannot be greater than the number of indices, or I can say number of elements present into the given array. Other than that, it can be any random position. That position I will be storing into the variable called as pos. So we write down pos equal to s dot next int. We have the position from the user where the element needs to be inserted. Then we will ask the user to enter the element which he wants to insert. We take down system.out.print, enter the element you want to insert, and we store that element into the x, that is x equal to s dot next int. So element is stored at the x and its position will be defined by the variable called as pos. Once we have taken the array, its element, the position the user wants to insert the new element into the array, and the value of the new element from the user. Now we will look at the logic. Let us begin. I take for int I equal to n minus 1, that will be number of elements minus 1. The I will be starting from I equal to n minus 1 and it should go up till position minus 1. So we have I greater than equal to position minus 1. This position value is taken from the user and n value is also taken from the user. Once this is done, then we will go for the values, that is a of I plus 1 equal to a of I. So we have a of I, that value will be transferred to I plus 1 position, and we are now going to decrement the value of I and not increment. So we start from the end position, go till the start position. In between we find out the position where the user wants to insert the element. Once this is done, then we decrement the value of position. That is, we are going to store the x element into that particular position. For this we write down a of POS, that is position minus 1 equal to x. X is the value of the element, so that value will be transferred at the position of a of I, that is a of position minus 1. So we are done with this transformation. We also find out the position where user wants to insert the element, and we have also transferred the element. And what remains is to now display the new set of array including your new element inserted into the array. For this we are going to use the for loop. We write down system.out.print after inserting I equal to 0, I less than n, and we start printing a of I, and after that we start printing a of n. Like this we have printed before insertion, after insertion, and also the new element inserted into the array. You must remember, in case of inserting an array into the element, that is we need to insert the element into the array, you must get the proper position from the user to be inserted into the array. That holds the key importance in case of inserting an element into the array. I've defined a class named as insert array. Inside the main method of the class, I've defined three variables: n, position, x. N is for number of element, position is for the position in which we want to delete the element, and x the element which we want to delete. Then using the scanner class object s, I've taken the element from the user. We write down system.out.print, enter number of elements you want in the array, and that number of elements will be stored into the n. After that we are going to define the size of the array. We write down int a equal to new int n plus 1. Why do we write down n plus 1? Since our index is going to start from 0. Then we ask the user to enter the elements. For this we write down system.out.print enter all the elements. Then we iterate through the loopings using for loop. I have I equal to 0, I less than n, and one by one elements would be transferred into the array I with the position I equal to 0 and I less than n. This is how you take the value from the user and store it into particular array. Now we will look at the deletion part. Let us begin. We ask the user to enter the position where you want to insert the element. So we write down position equal to s dot next int. This is the position where the user wants to insert the element. This is the position taken into the variable POS. Then we will ask the value that needs to be entered. So we write down system.out.print enter element you want to insert. That will be stored into the variable called as x. This is how you take the value from the user and also the position. The position can be any position. It can be starting position, it can be ending position, or it can be any random position in the given array. Now we will look at the logics how to insert that particular part, that is particular element into the array. For this I'm going to write down for int I equal to n minus 1. We are going to start from the end. I greater than equal to position minus 1. So we get that range, that is from n minus 1 until position minus 1. We will search the value and then display. That is, we will write a of I plus 1 equal to a of I. So our a of I will be transferred now to a of I plus 1. Once this is done, now what remains is to shift that x value. Where to shift that x value? That is the element to be inserted. Where we shift that value? We will shift that value at the position minus 1. So we write down a of position minus 1 equal to x. So the value of x will be now transferred into the index number a of position minus 1. Once this is done, it means we have just inserted the element into the array. Now we need to display the new array with the new element into the to the user. Again we are going to use the same concept of for loop. We start from I equal to 0 and go up till n and display the value of a of I, and after that we are going to display the value of a of n, that is number of elements of the new array. Let us look at the output. First, the user is asked to enter the number of elements into the array. For our simplicity, we are going to take only 5 elements. Then we need to enter the value of all the 5 elements one by one. This is how you display the number of elements into the array. Now the user will be asked to enter the position which he wants to insert that particular element. Let us take position number 3. So we have position number 3 to be element to be inserted. Now the user is asked to enter the element that needs to be inserted at position number 3. Let us take the value as 10. So now after inserting, what we have is 1, 2 and new element inserted at position number 3, the value of which is 10. Now if you look properly, in beginning our size was 5, now it is going to be 6 because our new element is inserted with the value 10 at position number 3. This is how you insert the element into the array. You must remember, for inserting the element into the array, always check with the position where the user wants to insert that particular element into the array. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to Ekeeda channel.